Welcome to Red-tastic. Story 1. Am I the a-hole for excluding my sister's kids at my wedding? On mobile and using a throwaway for obvious reasons. My fiancé and I are getting married in a few short months. Our guest list is relatively small and a few of our friends have children. When planning our wedding, we heavily considered having a child-free wedding, but after much thought and talking about it extensively, we realized the biggest hang-up we had was my sister's kids. My sister has been an amazing sister, and I love her dearly. My main issue is her kids, 8 and 10, and lack of discipline they have. They are mean to our 6-year-old, and they've broken things, which my sister did not even offer to replace, and they don't listen or follow directions. My sister and my brother-in-law have a very hands-off approach to parenting and follow a natural consequences style. Over time, we've stopped inviting them over to play because it's stressful. When the invitations went out, our friends said Mr. and Mrs. Dash and family, and my sister's was addressed Mr. Brother-in-law and Mrs. Sister. Given that we had talked about the wedding being child-free, my sister assumed we went that direction when she got her invite. This weekend, we got the bridal party and the moms together for some finalization. And my bridesmaid mentioned how excited her 7-year-old was to be going to his first wedding, and my sister went off. My mom is now talking about not coming anymore because apparently my sister's kids are more important than my wedding, which my fiancé and I are paying for. My mother-in-law says we are right. Bridesmaids say we are right. My mother and my sister are in full-blown protest. Am I the a-hole? Update. I have reached out to my sister to offer more of an explanation and offered a more in-depth explanation to my mom, who seems to be a little more understanding. I would love to have them involved, but I cannot count on my sister, brother-in-law, or my mom to keep them out of trouble, and I'm certainly not going to chase them around all day when I'm getting married. The other kids invited are a well-behaved 7-year-old, my cousin who is 10, and 2 babies. Ultimately, my fiancé and I have paid enough in damages over the last few years that we don't want to have to pay for more, especially not at an expensive venue. They come with a price tag because my sister refuses to pay for anything they break, and I'm tired of paying it. I forgot to add something. We have talked with my sister and brother-in-law before about the kids and their behavior. Every time they've heard none of it and just said that we need to respect their parenting style. I will accept that there was a better way to go about this. Everyone sucks here, OP. You and your fiancé suck for making your sister think your wedding was a child-free when in fact it wasn't, and you just didn't invite her kids. I understand that her kids are annoying and difficult to deal with. I wouldn't want to have to deal with them at my wedding too, but you should have been more honest about it. Your sister and her husband are a-holes too for not disciplining their children when they ruin other people's properties. Like, I get that they have a style of parenting, but teaching your kids to not ruin other people's stuff and not to be a disturbance should be part of every parenting style. I really hope you talk this out with your sister. Good luck on your wedding. Now for some comments. Everyone sucks here. Your points regarding the kids are valid. I really do hear you. They're wrong to let their kids run wild in public, and you're wrong for inviting kids to the wedding, but not your own niece or nephew. Is there an in-law, your brother-in-law's parents, you can invite to take care of the kids at the wedding? The easiest way out would have been to just have no kids. Everyone sucks here, but leaning more towards no a-holes here. You are entitled to invite whoever you want to your wedding, including and excluding children, and your sister and brother-in-law are entitled to parent their children as they want. Since you have tried to talk with them about these issues, I don't blame you at all. I personally have children and want a child-free wedding simply because I don't want to chase children, mine or anyone else's, around on a day that I'd be spending money. It's your wedding, your money, do what you want. Everyone sucks here. I think you are perfectly within your rights to not invite your sister's children. She wants you to respect their parenting style, then she's going to have to respect the consequences of that parenting style. But the way you handled it wasn't cool. You should have talked to them, even if it was just to say we can't take a chance on your rambunctious children breaking something on what is a very special day for us. Yes, it would have sucked to have that conversation. It's never easy to tell someone their kids are brats and you are crappy parents, but it would have been the mature thing to do. Story 2. Am I the a-hole for not letting my brother-in-law borrow my expensive laptop and telling him why? I, 29 female, game semi-professionally as a member of a team for a popular shooter. My day job requires me to travel 10 to 15 times out of the year for 1 to 2 weeks at a time. Because there are a lot of missed practices or scrims, I decided to invest in a gaming laptop for when I travel. It took me about 6 months to save up the money. I bought myself a very nice laptop right around Thanksgiving. My sister 27 and brother-in-law 31 live in the same city as me, so we often travel together when going home. My brother-in-law is also a gamer and streams. However, his setup is at home. Over Thanksgiving and Christmas, he borrowed my laptop many times to catch up with his own games, with my permission on the grounds that he could not remove it from common areas of my parents' house. Simply put, my brother-in-law treats electronics horribly. He is of the habit and good fortune of upgrading his phone, computer, and consoles whenever a new model is released. So this results in a lot of hard use, so he gets his money's worth. His words, not mine. By the time it comes to upgrade. Unfortunately, his treatment also extends to electronics that don't belong to him. He has broken my father's phone screen, dropped and broke my Nintendo 3DS, and even bricked my sister's tablet while trying to jailbreak it. I don't let my own personal electronics out of my sight when he uses them. He usually doesn't offer to replace them, and it's usually my sister who ends up offering. Last night, my brother-in-law called and asked if I was going to be out of town for the week of March 1st. Then he asked if he could take my laptop with him on a business trip where he's gonna be gone for that week. The trip doesn't overlap. I will be home and I do have a proper desktop setup at home, so I wouldn't miss the laptop. But I said no. He was not happy and tried to convince me. At first, I tried to just give a no means no answer. Then I offered to help him find a laptop he could buy, and even offered my discount I could get for my team being sponsored by a computer company. He didn't want to buy one when I had one I wouldn't be using. Finally, I told him I wouldn't let him borrow it because of his horrible treatment. He called me a selfish bitch and hung up. All day, my brother-in-law and mutual friends have been blowing up my phone telling me I need to not be so selfish. My sister says she understands where I'm coming from, but thinks I should let him borrow my laptop to keep the peace. If he breaks it, she's offered to replace it. My parents are staying out of it. I haven't heard from his side of the family, but I kind of expect that's next as they're close to my family. The only ones who are firmly in my corner are the members of my team. Am I the a-hole for not letting my brother-in-law borrow my laptop and for telling him the reason why I won't let him borrow it? You're not the a-hole, OP. Your brother-in-law sounds like a spoiled, entitled brat. You handled the situation nicely, and he should have dropped it after you said no. But instead, he decided to turn it into a whole big deal. He is such a child. You have valid reasons for not trusting him with your laptop. He will definitely destroy it, and the worst part, he won't even offer to replace it. If your sister is willing to replace your laptop because she knows he'll spoil it, then she should just buy him one. I really hope she stops indulging him though. It's such a bad habit. Stand your ground and tell the friends to lend them theirs. Now for some comments. Not the a-hole. I DJ part-time. I have a MacBook for this. I have my music on several backup systems. No one touches my laptop. I even have a backup PC laptop if things go pear-shaped. Laptops are cheap, but it's a pain in the ass setting it up just the way you want it for gaming or music. It's taken me over a year to get the perfect setup on my laptops. And I certainly don't want a clueless clown crashing it. Tell him to buy a friggin' laptop. Not the a-hole. Maybe those mutual friends should let him borrow their things. My mom and stepdad always called me selfish when I didn't want my younger brother to borrow or use my things. He screwed up nearly everything of mine he touched, and those things were never replaced. We'll get you another one, or we'll buy you more paint. Never happened. Why won't you share? Well, it isn't sharing when the thing will be effectively eliminated from my use or possession. Not the a-hole. Not only does he treat objects worse than a toddler, but he throws a tantrum worse than one when he doesn't get what he wants. He's entitled and very manipulative. He should have respected your answer. Instead, he gets others to gang up on you to try to guilt you into giving him what he wants. That is a horrible way to act. Stand firm and don't let him borrow your laptop. He will throw just as much of a tantrum when he breaks your laptop and you try to get him to replace it. Story 3. Am I the a-hole for choosing my ex-sister-in-law over my brother? My brother is from my mother's first marriage and is 10 years older than me. I am 25 right now and getting married pretty soon. Obviously, it's a small thing. My brother, who is 36, has been married to his ex-wife for about 13 years. They don't have kids because they were child-free. I am very close to his ex-wife. Let's say Rose. How could I not? She has been in my life since I was 10. But like 3 months ago, everything came crashing down. Apparently, my brother had gotten another woman pregnant and Rose found out. He left her for his mistress, who is almost ready to give birth. I'm extremely disgusted with my brother. For one, cheating is disgusting. And second, I legitimately love Rose as family and seeing her hurt is unbearable. My brother has brought his new girlfriend around since restrictions have been lifted. I don't know, I don't seem to be able to get warm towards her. Especially because she knew of Rose's existence. This weekend, I came to the decision that I don't want my brother at my wedding. Rose had told me it would hurt too much to come, but that she would make it up for me. I don't want to see my brother there. I don't want to get to know his girlfriend. My fiancé is on board with that decision. My family, however, disagrees. They say that this situation has nothing to do with me. And while I can say no +1 for my brother, I can't prohibit my brother from coming to his only sister's wedding. My brother is apparently very hurt and has called me crying, but I don't know. I don't want to. Am I the a-hole? Now for some comments. Not the a-hole. Cheating is absolutely disgusting. It's your wedding. Your fiancé supports you. You can invite, uninvite anyone that you want. Their marriage may not have been perfect, but that's no excuse for cheating. I'm sorry you're torn, but ultimately it's your decision. Not the a-hole. Family isn't about genetics. It's about who in your life you care about enough that their well-being is essential to your own. Sounds like Rose is family to you. Your brother hurt someone you love. You don't want that kind of person at your wedding. And that's fair. His genetic connection to you is less valuable than the family connection you have with Rose. Not the a-hole. There's this idea that you have to love and support your family always. It's BS. Your brother did a shit thing to your sister-in-law and doesn't deserve to get off scot-free. She's been in your life a decade, and it's great you're showing her she still matters to you. My family had a similar thing, no infidelity, but my brother was 100% responsible for the failure of his own marriage. But we had known his wife for 20 years as they had long been friends before they dated, married. He tried to get us to not include her, but we all put our foot down and said we wouldn't be doing that, especially as the breakup was his fault. You're a good person for treating your sister-in-law this way.